I'm back after almost 2 weeks of absence. I was gone. I was on holidays for 1 week on Mallorca, which is a small island in the Mediterranean, and I made a great discovery there. But I will do a special video on that. It's comic related, and it was fantastic. I was very happy about what I found there on this small little island. You won't believe it. It's really cool, and it's coming up. So I was getting my single issues yesterday from my comic shop, and there were like more than those, over 30 issues, and it was quite pricey also. And I was like, really, do I need this? Do I need to buy as many? Because you know that I also buy a lot of graphic novels, and what you don't know, I also buy a lot of books and magazines and DVDs, and really, I'm a culture product addict, and yeah, and I read a few of those yesterday, and I was pretty underwhelmed. And the first one that I read was Love and Rockets, which has a beautiful cover, as you can see. If for the ones who don't know what it is, don't bother. This is not a good introduction to the whole concept. It's written in a way that you have to be aware what the conflicts are and what the characters stand for. So I don't get it. Why make a number one if you don't care about new readers? And for the ones who like it, I guess you probably will enjoy this too. And it's a nice format, and it has nice covers. It's of good quality, but the content, I couldn't care less. I'm sorry. All right, Superman, Chinese Superman. Or he's not called Chinese Superman. He's called New Superman, but he's basically just Chinese Superman. And here you have the Justice League of China fighting the Chinese freedom fighters, and it's like an old school superhero comic with nice art, really enjoyable. I really like the main character. He's a douchebag, and he's fun to read. And the dynamics between him and Chinese Batman and Chinese Wonder Woman, who are like young people coming out of I don't know, a government program where they trying to have like their own superheroes in China, and yeah, they're just starting out. It's like a coming of age kind of thing, and it's really funny. You don't need to have it, but it's one of the more fresh ideas that came out of Rebirth, and yeah, I think it's cool. Batgirl number 4 was a bit of a letdown, so I finally subscribed the series, and of course I get the weakest issue yet as a thank you. So it's not bad, but it's the story is just a bit, it's dragging along, and they're adding like another little chapter and another little chapter, and I'm like, okay, give me the resolution and just next thing. And this is in general a problem, I think, with comics, that they have those really long arcs, but there is not much story in it, and that's frustrating. Animosity by Marguerite Benet. You might know her from her series Insects, also with Aftershock Comics. I didn't completely enjoy that one, and I wasn't completely sold on this one either. But I have to say the art is pretty nice, and the concept is fun. Yeah, it's basically animals become aware of themselves and start to speak and have intentions and do good stuff and bad stuff to humans, and humans have to somehow deal with it, with this new world where animals and humans are just as intelligent. And yeah, it's fun. It was I don't know, 4-minute read, but I don't need to have this in single issue. I will wait for a trade maybe, or not. I don't know. Vigilante Southland. I don't know much about the Vigilante. It's a DC concept, an old one, but I couldn't compare it to anything that DC was releasing before under this name. So I have to take it as what it is, and it reads like someone's first comic, like creatively. It just the writer doesn't really understand how to write a comic yet. I mean, it's not like completely a complete failure, but it's just not entertaining enough, and it reads amateurish, and the art is boring. So I don't know. You don't need this. Okay, next up, Great Lake Avengers. You know, it was a funny joke back in the day, but if you retell the same joke like 20 years later, it doesn't get funnier, and this isn't funny at all. Which was a bit of a letdown because I was expecting it to be at least, you know, enjoyable, but it's very boring, and you should skip it because it's not good. Alright, I'm really harsh today. Okay, Strange Sounds, I'm sorry for that. Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye. Well, this is the third Young Animal debut, and it's a fun concept. The art, when you just take a look, it's oh my god, it's so hard to find a non-ads double page in a DC comic by now. Okay, so the art is really nice when you take it at face value, but is it telling the story in a good way? No, it doesn't, and it's really hard to follow the story through the art. I don't know how to explain it. It looks like this is someone who can draw, but he's not very able at conveying this into a fluent storytelling, or it's just written in a very you know, not good way. I don't know how to put it, and I'm missing the right word for it. It's like splinters of story and they don't become one. I can put it better. I won't be back for number 2. Batman number 9 was a big improvement on Batman by Tom King, and super nice art by Michael Janine. And yeah, it's really well told, and I really hope this stays good, because Batman in general was a bit of a letdown. It started really strongly, but then it just went astray, and this could be a return to form, and I really hope that Tom King can pull it off to have like a really good run on this series. A Valiant comic, Generation Zero number 3, was really fun. I really like the series. I think it's very much under the radar. It's by Fred Van Lente and Francis Portela. This time, it's everything is happening in the imagination or the head or the psyche of character, and this character is imagining everything in a very cartoonish way. So Derek Charm is the artist here, and it's just fun to read. It has more like it has kind of a young animal vibe to it. So you know, instead of the Cave Carson, just by this, it's just funnier and more entertaining and more cohesive. It has a really good story, and I think this could become like a sleeper hit for Valiant, and I urge you to check out at least the first trade. It will be released soon. It's Valiant are also doing those $10 trades, so be sure to check it out. It's really good. The Vision number 12. So the end of the maxi series, 12 issues by Tom King and Gabriel Walter. And yeah, it was good. It was good. I think the series lost a bit of drive in the past few issues. The way that it was built, um, I have the feeling that I don't know for sure, but that the climax is like 3 or 4 issues ago already, and that we got a really long epilogue, which is okay. I don't I don't mind that, but yeah, it's not the ending has not such a big impact as you'd expect, but it wraps up the story really nicely, and this will make for a great deluxe edition. I'm pretty sure they will release one because the art by Walter and the colors by Belair are really great. Next up, Lake of Fire #3. I love this series. Number 2 was okay. Number 1, I think was the best debut by Image of the whole year. Number 2 was okay, and this one is very strong again. And I'm really a bit sad about the fact that it's so much under the radar. Nobody's talking about it, and it's so well written. And I looked up who's this Nathan Fairbairn guy because the name was so familiar, and he's a colorist for a lot of good stuff. He was nominated for awards and whatever, so he's like a colorist pro, but he writes so well. It's so you know, he has the timing right. He has a good rhythm. He has great dialogue, great characterizations, and this is a great series. You should check it out. Hellblazer #3. I'm out. I just don't enjoy it. It's just not good, I think. Batman Beyond was not good at all. It didn't read like a first issue. Maybe there was a Rebirth one-shot that I missed out on. I'm pretty sure it is like that because this read like a second issue and it was really, really boring. It's basically, I don't know what it is. It's something like a fight scene which goes on too long. Yeah, there is some setup in here, but I don't feel like talking about it. Sorry guys who like this, I just didn't. Black Hood #1 by Dark Circle Comics. So, Archie Comics, you know them, they started a superhero line with a few superheroes who are, I don't know, not Charlton, not First, I don't know, some old companies, properties. They revived them, and Black Hood was one of them. I read the first issue of the first volume, and I liked it very much, and I wanted to buy the trade, but it still hasn't been released. So I think if you want to be sure that if you want to really read it, you should get it in single issues, because I'm not sure Archie is managing to release any trades. And I'm asking myself why they publish it anyway, because they're not doing a lot of promotion for it, and the quality is very, very high. I think it's by Swiarczycki and Scott Swiarczycki. Duan Swiarczycki, you know, he's done a lot of stuff from Marvel. He has written Bloodshot for Valiant. This is how I got to know his writing, and I think it's really strong. It's really good. It's a vigilante story, basically, but it's on nobody's radar, and they're not doing a really good job promoting their own comics. And I've read that the other 2 series that they have, they're coming to an end now, The Shield and Hangman. So I don't know if this will continue for a long time or if it's just 4 or 6 issues, but I will probably get it because I really enjoyed it. The Skeptiks by Black Mask. Well, this is like my, I don't know, 5th, 6th, 7th try to get into a Black Mask comic, and I'm always surprised how amateurish they are. The art is really subpar. I'm sorry to say that. It's very flat. not very strong on backgrounds or anything. And it's just not very attractive. The cover is nice, and the concept is, I don't know what it is. It's about superhuman activity in Russia and the US, and I guess it's gonna be an espionage series, espionage with super powers. But I just wasn't very impressed by the first issue. This, on the other hand, the Electric Sublime by IDW, was really good. I was very surprised. I'm normally not buying IDW comics a lot. They have a lot of Transformers, G.I. Joe stuff, which I'm not interested in. But this could be like an image series. It's a creator-owned concept, and the concept is very much like the Art Ops by Vertigo, DC Vertigo, in that there is something wrong with art, and there is one guy who can fix it. And the art is making people doing crazy things. And the art is has its own life. No, I can put it better right now. I don't find the right words. And there's this guy who can deal with it because he's crazy himself. And it's really nicely drawn. I like the coloring, which, as you can see here, it's really, you know, really reduced when it has to, and then it goes crazy when it's about art. So it's really good. I really like this, and I will subscribe to it. The Electric Sublime, recommended. Doom Patrol, number 2. I wasn't completely sold on number 1. I thought it was okay, but very all over the place in a way. Not very coherent, but I really enjoyed the art, and I still do. I think the art is really good, and there is a young red-haired heroine who is really perfect to fall in love with. There is a little drawing here towards the end where I was like, yes, this is like for Vertigo readers, the dream girl to really fall in love with. And Flex Metallo has an appearance, so get it. It's really good. It's becoming more coherent. It's getting closer to becoming a story, in fact. And the cover is also fantastic. So I think it's a success. Britannia number 2. I really love the first issue. It's a Valiant comic, but you wouldn't know. It could be an Avatar comic too. It's basically a horror book set in the Roman times with great art by Juan Jose Ripe. And it's written by Peter Milligan. And this is the best Peter Milligan I have read in a long time. It's really, really dense. It's it's packed with a lot of characterization, with knowledge about the Roman times, and there's even a little article in the back explaining some stuff. So it's a whole world, and you can buy into it through reading Britannia, which is a great comic. Black Hammer, also really, really good. This is the best Jeff Lemire comic I think I have ever read, I have to say. It's number 4, and it's still very exciting. Again, it's always focusing on a different character, and but also trying to explain how our heroes got where they are now. So it's doing a really fine job in balancing this little story bits, and it's greatly drawn and colored, and it's a very, very good book. The Black Monday Murders, I'm getting a bit tired by this Hickmanish writing, and there is a lot of dialogue which tries to be very clever in here, and I think it might be a bit too much. So basically the whole issue is one interrogation, and in the middle, so we have the comic, and in the middle there is also really like screenplay of another scene which is basically not drawn but written, and you can see it's like a lot of pages, and it's just dialogue, 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 and not a lot of information, and they're always hinting about how complex everything is, but then when a little bit of reveal is taking place, you're like, really? That was the super complex weirdo thing? It seems a bit too serious and too to hint at a too big picture, and then when we're when we're being shown details of it, it's not that crazy as we assumed it should be. You know, the Lost problem, the Lost TV series, where you're like, there's a big mystery, and then here's the explanation, and you're like, really, that's it? And I think this might be heading for this kind of disappointment. I hope it's not. So yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. Today my language and my focus was a bit off. I don't have a lot of time right now, so I hope I can come back with this big discovery I made on Mallorca with a little video soon. And I also read a few graphic novels which I really enjoyed and I want to talk about, but I don't know when I will have the time to do it. Hopefully soon. Until then, thanks for watching, and have a good life. Bye bye.